coastal waters forecast for the following marine location: Tampa Bay waters. Issued at 11:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Rest of today, east winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeast 5 to 10 knots this afternoon. Bay and inland waters a moderate chop. Isolated showers and thunderstorms late. Tonight, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, diminishing to 5 to 10 knots after midnight. Bay and inland waters a moderate chop. Isolated showers and thunderstorms early in the evening. Sunday, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Bay and inland waters light chop. Isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Sunday night, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Bay and inland waters light chop. Isolated showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Monday, northeast winds around 5 knots. Bay and inland waters smooth. Isolated showers and thunderstorms late in the morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Monday night, east winds 5 to 10 knots. Bay and inland waters light chop. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday, tropical storm conditions possible. Scattered thunderstorms. Scattered showers in the morning, then numerous showers in the afternoon. Tuesday night, hurricane conditions possible. Wednesday, hurricane conditions possible. Winds and waves higher and near thunderstorms. Your coastal waters forecast for the following marine location: coastal waters from Englewood to Tarpon Springs out 20 nautical miles. Issued at 11:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Alrighty, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream here for today. We are going to be going over Tropical Storm Ian, as it is expected to have tons and tons of impacts here across portions of the country, including Florida, an area we got to really watch out for over the next several days. Interesting Cuba as well. Anyways, my friends, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing all right. First of all, let's go ahead and see who is here for today. Let's go ahead and give everyone a warm welcome. We have Garden of Jewels here. We have Hype Beast. We have Jersey Devil as well. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. Definitely glad to see you guys here for today. And obviously, my friends, please stay safe out there. Like I said, this is a pretty interesting event. I mean, like I said, I don't like to use these terms too often, but this is an extreme system we're talking about here. So this is something we got to just really continue to watch out for over the next little bit. So, anyways, my friends, hope you all are doing all right here. Let's go ahead and see here. Blondie's here. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Heather's here as well. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into it, my friends. So we're rocking the Aviators today. Just recently got them. So this is the model above me right here. This is the HRWF model. That we are currently looking, our HWRF model. You know, honestly, I forgot. I accidentally said that wrong. So let me quickly fix that really quickly. That was just a little typo I did when I was trying to set up here for the stream. So HWRF model. Yeah, the HWRF. There we go. All right, we're good. We're good. We're ready to go now. Let's go ahead and see here. Proxy with a $45 donation. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated, Proxy. Big shout out goes to you as always. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's greatly appreciated. You absolutely rock. Let's go ahead and see who else is here. We have Pat as well. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Mary's as well. We have two Marys, actually. I'm just now starting to see. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Watching from Alabama. The other one says hello. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Maybe we need to stay focused and stay strong. God bless us with you as always. Our amen. Well, obviously glad to be here, my friends. Once again, thank you, Proxy, for that. It's greatly appreciated. You did not have to do that. Very generous of you, my friend. So, we just now have had the 5 o'clock p.m. update just came out here from the National Hurricane Center, and honestly, things are looking a little bit interesting. In regard to things, they have now upgraded the category to now a Category 4 expected here upon, obviously, close arrival of Florida. So this is something we got to definitely watch out here for. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cone here. Obviously, you can see that on the far left-hand side as well. Look at this. But obviously, we are seeing this system really starting to kick off here in the latest satellite imagery here in the blacks and grays. You can really see that thunderstorm action really starting to really increase with this system. It's really starting to develop here, and we are expecting rapid development over the system over the next several days, as there's literally no limiting factors in the atmosphere to prevent otherwise from happening. So this is definitely going to get very nasty. And like I said, I don't really like to use the terms, but this is going to be catastrophic in regard to impacts down the line here. So, but anyways, my friends, we are talking rapid development It goes from Category 1 to Category 2 to Category 3, right there transitioning from Category 3 into Category 4 as it impacts portions of western Cuba. Now, there is some bad news about this. I hate to say this, but since this system is no longer really expected to go as far inland into Cuba, this is going to actually not really hurt any destabilization of the system. This obviously, the more it goes into Cuba, the more unstabilized the system will become, and obviously the more potentially the more this thing could weaken. But unfortunately, it looks like it's just going to be passing right there on the far left-hand side where the mountain ranges aren't too high, pretty low elevated areas there. But look at this. This thing is expected to remain a Category 4 as it is getting close here to Florida. But then quickly, apparently in the latest trends, now, they say this thing's going to get down to around a Category 2 as it's right off of the coast of Florida. But here's the thing. They're probably doing that to keep it, just to keep everything safe as of right now. Regardless, I mean, even if this is a Category 2 on landfall, this is definitely going to, be very, very bad in regard to impacts and stuff like this. So this is honestly a system that we just got to really continue watching over the next several days here. So here's the thing. So I'm sure you guys have heard of some point in your life, the cone of uncertainty. So basically, what this is showing us is basically, the center of this storm could go as far east as this right-hand side of the cone. It could still impact areas here along portions. Honestly, at this point, it's not really expected to, the center of the storm is not really expected to be anywhere near Miami or the Keys. Those regions have kind of gotten rolled out here. But although, if you guys are towards Pensacola, as far west as Pensacola, as well as here between Tampa and Miami, that's kind of where the cone of uncertainty. So the center of the storm could track anywhere inside of here. There is still a lot of unknowns in regard to this system in particular. Okay, so there is still lots and lots of unknowns here. So, but regardless, like I said, there's really not much, there's really not going to be too many limiting factors here with development out of this system. I mean, just due to the fact that this thing is going to be having no wind shear to disrupt the storm structure. It's going to have plenty of moisture and fuel sitting there in cross portions of the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, you got to think, not many tropical cyclones have already been in the Gulf so far this year. It's been quite quiet for the most part. And so all of that moisture has actually really accumulated across portions here of the Gulf of Mexico. Let's see here. Courtney just donated $5. Courtney, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much for that, Courtney. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. You as well, Proxy. Courtney, please, you did not have to do that. Thank you so much. And but like I was saying, once again, thank you, Courtney. Greatly appreciate it. You did not have to do that. Like I said, guys, thank you all so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. But like I said, obviously, we're here for you guys in order to, keep you guys safe as possible. Like I said, this is an evolving situation. This thing is definitely going to be quite nasty. I'm going to go ahead and say this thing is going to be quite nasty whenever it does cause impacts here. So, like I was saying beforehand, interest in portions of western Cuba, as well up here into portions, obviously, of Florida. I've got to really watch out for this system. I mean, this is going to cause some pretty big issues here down the line in regard to all kinds of concerns. Now, as I was talking in my Discord here a little bit ago, the thing about these systems is the fact that they do rotate counterclockwise, obviously here in the northern hemisphere. Now, this is going to cause a lot of storm surging across portions here of the western side, and the eastern side of Florida here. This is obviously going to cause some big issues on the coastlines, no matter which side you're on. This is going to cause basically some problems here. Let's see here. Proxy, gifting tens. Wow, Proxy, thank you so much for that. With the $45 donation and the 10 memberships as well. Everyone, please give a thanks to Proxy for the generous support. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you once again, Proxy, for all of your support on the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Absolutely so much. And something I'm actually going to do really quickly is I'm going to move this up here, the alert box up a little bit more up there. That way it's not blocking the entire screen. But once again, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. But like I was saying, with that being said, there's also a threat. This is something we call cyclone-induced tornadoes. Now, this is basically caused by the wrapping of the cyclone. Obviously, this can cause some tornadoes on the right-hand side of the tropical system. So, like I said, right here, this line right there, that's where the center is, the middle part is where, the center could be. Now, like I said, on the right-hand side, there's a possibility of some tornadoes as well. That's going to be another possibility here down in time, is a possible tornado threat as this system does approach the western side here of Florida. like I said, obviously with that being said, that's something we got to just really watch out here for. So, everyone just please stay safe out here. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the latest National Hurricane Center page here, because there is some things I do want to go ahead and discuss here in regard to things. So, we do actually now have some hurricane warnings that is in effect across portions here of the islands just south of Cuba. I keep on forgetting these names of the islands here, but they are there. The red is showing a hurricane warning, basically where hurricane conditions is expected here. The yellow is a tropical storm watch. Now, Jamaica was under a tropical storm watch here yesterday. They are no longer under that as of right now, which is definitely good because this system has actually tracked a little bit more to the west here. But that's kind of what we are talking about. Now, this thing is expected to remain a tropical storm. It currently is a tropical storm here. Maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. Once again, this is a pretty new, like I said, obviously this is a pretty new system that's starting to develop here, so it's still in its early stages, but this thing is going to definitely evolve here quite rapidly over the next little bit. So, so this thing is expected to, remain a tropical storm here until around the morning hours on Monday, when we are expecting this thing to turn into a Category 1 storm here by basically the morning of Monday. Now, by late Monday or Monday afternoon, this thing's going to be strengthening into a Category 2. And then for Tuesday, into a Category 3. And then for late Tuesday, into a Category 4. So this thing is expected to do some rapid development. You can see it just above the model right there, just above my head here. There's literally like no limiting factors on this system. There's no wind shear to help break apart this storm, which obviously would be something we want, but that's not going to be a factor. There is plenty of warm ocean waters, which is fueling these systems, which honestly that is we are talking about. Like I said, obviously with that being said, there is going to be a lot of warm ocean water. Once again, I mean, the Gulf of Mexico, this hurricane season has barely been touched at all, which is absolutely crazy. So, with that being said, though, like I said, this is obviously going to be a big old concern here, with that being said. So that's just something we got to definitely watch out for. There's plenty of moisture across the way, too. There's no limiting factors on development out of the system. So this thing is free to strengthen as much as it wants to. And like I said, I mean, this is honestly kind of like the worst case scenario here. Like I said, now this thing is expected to mostly remain on the far western side of Cuba, which that is kind of what we are talking about. So with that being said, that's where the lower level mountain ranges are located. If it goes more into the interior portion, which it's no longer expected to do, that would have caused some destabilization of the storm. But unfortunately, honestly, it looks like, according to a lot of these models here, that basically this system will barely, if not at all, really be impacted by Cuba's landmass, as this thing is expected to mostly be out in the water still, even as it gets near Cuba. So, for that being said, it would not be surprising if we do get some hurricane watches being issued for portions of Cuba here later on tonight. It would definitely not be surprising here, as the system is expected to impact the regions kind of around Tuesday, the early morning to late afternoon and into the evening hours here on Tuesday. Lots of hurricane conditions is expected across the ways here. As we track our way up here more to the north and northeast, this thing is going to be drawing its way closer to Florida. Like I said, obviously, where the center of the storm is going to impact portions of Florida, there is still some question marks. There is still unknowns. Like I said, a lot of Florida, most of Florida is in the cone of uncertainty. If you guys do not know what that means, that's basically where the center of the storm could track into. So the center of the storm could go as far west as the panhandle here towards like Pensacola and surrounding areas. Now there is also the possibility on the opposite spectrum of the system going as far down east, just south of Tampa. That's where the cone of uncertainty is. There still is a big question mark of where the center of the storm could end up. So really, I wouldn't say anywhere in Florida is quite out of the question yet. Now, we have kind of ruled out since yesterday the center of the storm impacting portions of the Keys or Miami. That's no longer really expected where the center of the storm to be, although, like I said, impacts could still most likely occur across the regions. I'm telling you now, lots and lots of Florida is likely going to have some impacts with this system. It's supposed to be a pretty decent-sized system, too. And this is going to be something that we have just got to really watch out here for. We're going to try to get to as many comments as possible here. Sorry if I'm being a little bit slow in the comments. Like I said, obviously there's just a lot of stuff to talk about, you guys. There's tons and tons of stuff to go over, in which we are going to be doing so today. We'll be taking a look at the models and stuff like that here in a minute as well. So, let's see here. We've got ourselves some more comments coming on through. Red Road says, hello, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Do I think that Kansas City Metro will get hit by a hurricane sometime? No. No, that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, those systems would really break up by the time they even get up towards those regions in the Midwest. Absolutely not. And this system is expected to remain across the southeast. And maybe it could impact the mid-Atlantic far down in time, but you know what? This is still in the far extended range. We just need to talk about the next 5 days. I mean, anything past that is kind of a little bit sketchy. I really don't like to take it past the 3-day mark, but really the 5-day mark with hurricanes is kind of my ultimate max. But that's kind of what we are talking about. So, but regardless, yes, this is going to definitely be very, very crazy here. Absolutely. Let's see. If this goes far enough east, then it could move off the southern east coast and move back into the Atlantic, says Death Star. Okay, so it's possible, but like I said, I mean, the latest trends do seem to be pushing this system a little bit more to the west, actually. Because the latest scans, the one from earlier this morning, had this system kind of crossing into regions like this. Where my arrow is, that's kind of where we did see, basically where the previous cone was at. And you can see how the cone is now pushing a little bit more to the west. So I'd say that's kind of unknown at this point. It's becoming more unlikely just because of the trend. Now, you're going to notice something, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now. This is something to expect. This cone of uncertainty is going to shift east and west for the next several days. I mean, this is basically while the models are, ruling or this is what the models are starting to agree in regard to things. So obviously, the fluctuation of the cone is definitely going to occur over the next several days here. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on there. But once again, like I said, guys, for the people joining us, this system has now been upgraded to expect to be a Category 4 hurricane as it does make its way off the western side of Cuba. These two M's that you see, that's supposed to be Category 4 territory there. And that is going to likely have some very big issues for a lot of these regions here. So that's kind of we are talking about here. Let's see. Gene says, hi from Chicago. My eyes okay? Yeah, my eyes are fine. I just decided to go Tom Cruise. Yeah, absolutely. Got to pull the aviators today. I feel like, I just got these today. I feel like I had to. I thought it was pretty cool. But that's kind of what we're talking about here. Proxy wants to know, what are we hearing about evacuation orders in parts of Florida? As of now, the only thing I know is that we have a state of emergency that was issued for portions of Florida. In regard to the evacuations, I don't have any news on that now, but I would not be surprised if they do start to initiate those over the next few days. And obviously, with that being said, obviously people in Florida right now has seriously got to watch the system here very, very closely. I mean, honestly, this is a pretty nasty, potentially system here we got to definitely watch out here for. Let's see. Jenny says, cool shades. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. How is this going to affect North Carolina, says Kevin. So, like I said, that's in the far extended range. We need to take this day by day. After the point here, this is basically out for the next 5 days. So anything after that, it's still at least a week out from impacting areas near North Carolina, if it even does. Which I'd say it's possible. I mean, honestly, in regard to some rain and stuff like that. But in regard for the most part, honestly, we just need to continue watching this. Right now, it's too early to call any impacts on the Carolinas. Like I said, obviously, that's kind of what we are seeing. For the most part, we just need to watch out for Florida. Obviously, that's kind of the main concern here right now. But like I said, obviously also portions here of Cuba. I mean, interest in Cuba, it would not be surprising if later on here we do actually see some of those hurricane watches actually being issued across the way. So that's something we just got to watch out here for. Now, here's something we are going to do. Here is the tropical storm force probability. This is the latest and greatest from the National Hurricane Center. This is only going to increase in probability for Florida. The reason it's kind of low here as of now is because the system is still pretty far out, but this will 100% certainly definitely grow it once again. So areas towards Tampa already has pretty much here. Let's see here. Yeah, towards portions near Tampa, we're already seeing a 50 to 60% chance probability of tropical storm force winds here, which honestly is already in that likely category, even though the system is still 5 days out from the region, which is actually kind of crazy. But anyway, so obviously Cuba, yep, you guys are expecting tropical storm force conditions. I mean, look at this. The entire state of Florida is currently under the possibility of tropical storm force conditions, which is actually kind of interesting. We do also have a shade for hurricane probabilities as well. I mean, you can already see it to see. We have about a 5 to 20% chance along the western coast here of Florida of seeing the possibility of hurricane force conditions definitely being a possibility. So that's kind of what we are talking about. So that's just something we're going to keep our eyes out here for. I mean, here's a 50 knot plus. Still considered, this is more upper level tropical storm force here, and the probabilities still do remain across a lot of Florida here. So that's just something we got to definitely keep an eye here for. This is definitely pretty crazy. So, in regard to the time of arrival here with the winds, that's kind of expected here. This is the ETA of the tropical storm force winds here. We are expecting to see tropical storm force winds possibly occur kind of around the early morning here of Tuesday for portions of southern Florida, including portions of, like I said, obviously portions here of the Keys. Definitely probably going to start to see those around the early morning on Tuesday. Here for the late portion of Tuesday, that tropical storm force wind field is going to increase and head up more to the north for more areas of central, kind of towards like Tampa. We're talking possibly towards the later portions here of obviously later portions here of Tuesday. And then once we move into Wednesday, that's going to move up here towards the Panhandle, obviously areas like towards Orlando and such, those regions there. So that is kind of what we are talking about. So we got to definitely really watch out for this here. So that's in regard to ETA. Also, when it comes to the overall timing of this storm here, like I said, it's supposed to really start to impact Cuba, western Cuba here for Tuesday, starting from the early morning hours here on Tuesday all the way until the evening hours here on Tuesday. So obviously that is like the bullseye. That's kind of the expected worst impacts here in western Cuba is on Tuesday throughout the whole entire day. Now obviously it's going to start having some big problems here on Florida for late Tuesday into early Wednesday. We're going to start to see some of those problems start to arise here in Florida. But the main event is really not supposed to happen until kind of late Wednesday into Thursday. That's kind of when we are expecting the worst of the system to actually occur. So that's kind of that's what we're talking about here in regard to things. So latest information, here's the latest rainfall projections. Now, I'm not going to take this too seriously. This is honestly, in my opinion, not really trustworthy at this point. Wait till it gets to that like first 1 to 2 day range. Wait till it's like 1 or 2 days out versus like 5 days out. Because this is definitely going to shift here. But as of now, according to the Weather Prediction Center, we do have about 2 to 4 inches of rain being possible across portions of Miami, with 4 to 6 inches possible towards the Keys. But once again, it still heavily regards on track and intensity, as well as like speed. Speed, track, and intensity definitely will alter these accumulations over a very short distance, a very short period of time. So once again, I do not trust this at all right now. Give it a little bit, give it like another few days before we can really start to trust this data coming through here. Anyway, so that's kind of what's talking about for now. Flash flooding potential, they're already starting to put issues on that for southern Florida. It honestly would not be surprising if this does shift up into the entire state of Florida here for down the time. Now, like I said, in regard to things, here you go, you can actually see that same model that's just above my head. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is expected to be quite the beast. Once again, like I said, the National Hurricane Center has now issued this system to be a Category 4 hurricane. This thing is expected to be a Category 4 hurricane due to literally no limitations on the cyclone. This thing is expected to have plenty of moisture, plenty of warm waters to thrive in, as well as no wind shear to help shred apart the storm. This is not going to be a factor in regard to those winds. We want that wind shear, but it's not going to be there, unfortunately. So that is kind of what we are actively talking about. So, but anyway, so that's what's going on there. Like I said, you can obviously see this well-developed system here. Here for the 27th for the late portions. I believe this is on Tuesday. So that's kind of what we are talking about. This is definitely pretty interesting here. In regard to the wind field here, you can actually see pressure according to the HWRF model, also that model that's listed just above my head here, has the pressure dropping down into the 930s. Now, it does show the pressure actually increasing as we go up here towards, to get closer to Florida, probably because some of those rain bands are going to be starting to impact portions of Florida, causing the system to start destabilizing a little bit. But that's kind of what we are looking at for the most part. Now, in regard to other models, obviously, like I said, you can't just trust one model specifically, as that's kind of biased. I don't like to take a look at just one model here. That's Fiona. We're done with Fiona for now, or forever, I should say. Let's go back to Ian here, but this is another model here, obviously representing that, obviously going right there next to western Cuba for the most part. But this one also, I mean, it kind of looks like the latest trend in the models might be having it pointing a little bit more to the west. I've actually noticed that in the latest models is a trend to the west. But just know that over the next several days, this is going to fluctuate, both right and left. This is going to be flopping back and forth, something we just got to continue to keep on watching here. This thing is going to definitely be, kicking back and forth here. So that's kind of what we are talking about. So in regard to some more models, with that being said, we're going to take a look at the spaghetti models here in a second as well to get an idea of what the main hurricane models have to say in regard to track and intensity. That's something I still haven't even yet to see myself in the latest update here. But anyway, so here's a new model. This is the HAFS, relatively new model to the table here. This actually just came out this year. Unfortunately, this one does not go out that far yet. So we can't really look at HAFS as of now. We can look at GFS. GFS is a main model when it comes to things here, and obviously, yeah, kind of showing it hitting towards the panhandle. So what it looks like over the last 3 models, it does kind of appear that we are seeing this thing actually trending more to the west and possibly towards areas like the panhandle. Now, this is still not set in stone yet, as, like I said, I can go ahead and show you the cone of uncertainty still does include portions here in southern Florida. I mean, like I said, this is where the center could track into. With that being said, I mean, literally, the center of the storm could still go down as far down in southern portions of Florida or as far west as portions of the panhandle, in which that still is kind of the question at this time. And like I said, obviously, with that being said, this is definitely an evolving situation. That's what we're talking about. Popcorn says, is this going to be a Category 3 or Category 4 landfall? As of now, it kind of shows around a Category 2 landfall, but a Category 4 right off the coast. But I feel like they're trying to play it safe. I really kind of feel like they're mostly trying to play it safe here for the most part as of now. This is still not solid. This is still not set in stone yet. This could very well be stronger on landfall. Absolutely. It's still possible. Like I said, they're still working things out. The models are still fluctuating, and obviously they are still trying to come to an agreement here. But that's kind of what we are talking about, my friends, and that's what we're talking about. Let's see here. But here's the crazy part. I'm actually heading to Florida here on the 1st, which will be aftermath of the system. If I see any damage or anything like that, I'm probably going to share it with the channel here, which is going to be pretty crazy. But anyways, back on the models here, like I was saying, this is definitely going to be quite the system that could be quite impactful here down in time. So we'll just continue watching it. This is a situation that is going to continue to evolve here over the next while. Definitely is a system that we just got to really keep on watching here. So we'll definitely just keep an eye on it. But in regard to like other models like CMC model also getting towards the panhandle. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch on over here to the actual spaghetti models when it comes to Ian, because we actually have ourselves, like I said, kind of a bit of disagreement as we have discussed as of right now. So let's go ahead and zoom in on into this. So you can obviously tell, like I said, these are the main hurricane models in regard to where this thing could track. Now you can see some of the models have it tracking towards Tampa, which that was like the beginning trend here, and now some of the models actually trending more to the west, like towards areas of the panhandle. So there still is a big question mark right here in these regions here. I mean, regardless of where you are on the western coast of Florida, you should really monitor this for possible landfall. The probability does still exist all the way down south of Tampa of a direct landfall. It's still there, although this system is trending west. It is trending a little bit more to the west, maybe possibly more of a panhandle landfall. But regardless, like I said, don't trust that to be the final result. Don't trust that to be the final word in this system, because like I said, this is still going to be fluctuating back and forth over the next few days as the system, or as these models do become more agreeing in regard to things. So once again, that's kind of what we're talking about. Regardless though, majority of the models, except for this outcast here, does indeed show still a Florida landfall with this system. So that's kind of what we are talking about. So now with the similarities here, we're actually going to take a look at the intensity guidance here, and you can actually see some pretty nasty stuff happening. At least 2/3 of the models does show this thing showing rapid intensification. Like I said, there's plenty of warm waters, plenty of moisture here at the surface as well. Developing of the system is going to have no limitations at all. So this thing's going to be skyrocketing in intensity, and a good amount of models does show this thing getting up here towards the Category 4 realm, and obviously, really dying back down once it hits land. This thing is actually kind of crazy because it looks like, according to the models, this thing is going to strengthen as quickly as it is going to die out here in regard to when it makes landfall. So that's honestly kind of a bit concerning, which is really, really crazy. Let's see, Death Stars, is there any good news with this storm? I feel like it's all bad, and I want to find some good in this. Well, as of now, okay, the only good news I do see is that it looks like, at least in the latest possibilities, it looks like even in the latest possibilities, this thing could be not at its strongest upon landfall, but, like I said, I kind of feel like that's what they're playing safe. They're trying to play safe here right now. So that's kind of what you're talking about. Let's see, won't small areas in southern Gulf, like Alabama, be affected by Ian? So that really does matter upon track. Like I said, if it tracks way more to the east here, the involvement of portions of like southern Alabama around the coastlines is going to be minimal. However, if this does track its way more here to the west, that is going to be a different story. The more west it goes, the more potential impacts this will have on Alabama, absolutely. And once again, like I said, you can see the cone of uncertainty does stretch out quite a distance here. We can actually measure and see just how far of a distance the cone of uncertainty actually is. I mean, this cone literally goes about 450 to 500 miles in length here. So, like I said, the center could track anywhere in these regions. The center being, obviously, like I said, that just above my head there, that little circle, that is the eye of the storm. The eye or the center of the storm could track its way as far east as down in southern Florida, or as far up north as in portions of the Panhandle. So that's kind of what we are talking about. So, regardless, like I said, we just got to really, really watch out for this here very, very closely. I mean, this is going to, regardless of where this hits, this is going to cause very big issues for Florida. And like I said, I'm not trying to cause you guys to panic. Like I said, obviously panic is the worst thing you can do in these situations. But if I was in this situation, I would be preparing right now. Now is the time to prepare wherever you are in Florida. Just know that there is a very strong hurricane that is going to be likely impacting portions of Florida here around Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, so definitely watch out for that. This is a very, 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 very interesting system. We are going to, very, very interesting system. We are definitely going to need to watch out for over the next little bit. So, anyways, let's go ahead and see here. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Once again, yeah, Proxy, thank you for the memberships. Let's see that Megan is also talking about that. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys do not have to support the channel. I mean, obviously, like I said, the reason we're here is obviously because I want to keep you guys safe and informed as much as possible. I really just simply enjoy tracking these systems as well. And obviously, if I can do so and save lives as well, obviously that's what I'm going to do. Obviously that's what I'm going to do here. Let's see, Andrew, will Missouri and New York get impacted by Ian? It's way too far out to tell. Missouri, I can tell you straight off the bat, most likely not. New York, it's way too early to tell. Like I said, this is the 5-day outlook, and this goes all the way to Florida. I don't like to forecast really even past 3 days because it gets a little bit sketchy after that 3-day mark. But with hurricanes, we have a better understanding in regard to track. But that's kind of what we are talking about. So, but anyways, so that is what we are seeing. That is definitely something we are going to really continue to watch here over the next while. Because like I said, I mean, this center of the storm could track its way pretty much as far down south as like Cape Coral area, or as far center towards like Tampa, or as far west as like Tallahassee and areas towards like Pensacola and surrounding areas. So, but that's kind of what we are talking about. So, but that's what we are talking about. Let's see here. Megan says, I just noted my shades are on. I think I should start wearing these. Should I start wearing these on the stream? I think they look pretty sick. With my aviators. Yeah, I just got these today. I actually really, really like them. But yeah. Let's see, Eddie saying, hey, Andrew and crew, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. And like I said, obviously, my friends, please stay safe out there. In regard to its current status, like I said, obviously, right now, we are seeing a lot more of that thunderstorm activity really starting to kind of go on. Obviously, we still need a little bit of intensification to occur with the system. It's still in its early stages. Like I said, this thing is still in its early stages here. So obviously, we're going to track our way up here to the west, and rapid development is forecasted to occur. Once again, as mentioned, I mean, nothing but pure environments for rapid development is expected. We have tons of warm waters here, which is giving the fuel it needs for these systems. Plenty. I mean, we're talking 30 degrees Celsius waters, which is absolutely boiling for these systems, which will be perfect. Obviously, like I said, with that being said, the surface temperatures are absolutely boiling here, not literally, but figuratively. But obviously, with that being said, that's going to cause rapid development on its own. Tons of moisture. There's been literally like no systems that's been tracking into the Gulf. There's plenty of moisture sitting around, which is going to be very, very bad for the system here. And also, with that being said, with this being said too, there's no wind shear. Like I said, the winds at certain levels of the atmosphere is not going to shred apart the storm, which that's something we'd want, but it's not going to happen. The system was actually battling a little bit of problems with Fiona a little bit ago. That exhaust from Fiona in the early stages, the infant stage of the system, it was struggling, but now it's not. It's in perfect conditions now to strengthen from here on out. And like I said, this thing is expected to turn into a hurricane here for portions. Let's see, we're going to pull back up the main map here for portions on supposed to remain supposed to come a hurricane here on the early morning hours on Monday. So that is indeed what we are talking about. Now let's go ahead and switch on over here. Like I said, here's the latest Hurricane Center updates when it came to this. Like I said, the latest information just came out at 5 o'clock, so this was just an hour ago. So relatively fresh off the press here for the most part. And like I said, for that being said, this thing is still a tropical storm, and once again will remain a tropical storm here basically for the next day, where on the early morning hours here on Monday, this thing will turn into, like I said, obviously this thing will turn into a hurricane here for the morning hours on Monday. Then obviously going from a Category 1 at this point to a Category 2 here for the late portions of Monday, and to a Category 3 just before Cuba, and to a Category 4 right after Cuba. And like I said, what we were talking about yesterday is we were looking at Cuba and seeing how far inland this system would track into Cuba. And like I said, this system's only trending west, which only shows this thing pulling away from Cuba a little bit more. With that being said, this is not going to hurt its limitations or its overall status here. This is not going to cause it to rapidly weaken if it did move more inland, which is very unfortunate. And this thing is still going to remain a Category 4 as it does approach near Florida here. So that's just something we are going to definitely watch out here for. So regardless, rapid intensification. I mean, like I said, literally we're seeing a category every 12 hours being upgraded. So basically starting from Monday, Category 1, 12 hours later for 2 p.m., Category 2, 12 hours later for 2 a.m., Category 3, 12 hours later for Category 4. So you can kind of see every 12 hours we are expecting a Category 2 increase, which that is absolutely ridiculous in regard to rapid intensification. So that is indeed what we are watching out for. So once again, you guys, please stay safe out there. You got any questions, let us know. We're going to try to get to as many as possible here because like I said, obviously your guys' safety is obviously the most important thing here. We want you guys to be prepared for the system. And like I said, if you are in Florida, like I said, obviously between, inside the cone of uncertainty and surrounding areas, you should definitely consider to, monitor this here very, very closely. Can I check on that one system in the Western Pacific? Yeah, we don't really cover those areas there. We mostly just cover the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. We don't really cover the places in the West because we just have a lot of our viewers here in the States. So obviously, we're not going to do that right now. But yeah. Let's see here. Isn't there already a part with a Cat 4? But yeah, this thing is supposed to be a Category 4 system at its maximum peak as of now. If you take a look here back at the latest information from the cone, you can actually see this thing is supposed to go from a Category 3 just before impacts here on Cuba to a Category 4. Actually showing the possibility of these winds being around 130 miles per hour with gusts well over Category 5 strength. So that is kind of what we are talking about. But that is indeed what we are actively talking about. So regardless, though, like I said, for the peeps just now starting to join us, obviously welcome. Glad to have you here on this very, very unfortunate event here. But like I said, obviously, this thing could, like I said, if you guys do not know what the cone of uncertainty means, this is basically showing us, like I said, this is basically showing us that the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, could track its way far down as south as towards the area of Cape Coral, because you are still inside of this cone of uncertainty. The projected track, the median point, is expected to kind of go around this line here, kind of towards that, that little bay area between the Panhandle and the western side of Florida. And obviously it could go as far west as towards like the Pensacola area, obviously west of Tallahassee. So, but anyways, regardless of where you are in Florida, you should definitely monitor this here very, very closely, because this thing could cause impacts statewide. This thing has a possibility of causing some impacts pretty statewide here. So we'll just keep an eye on it. I mean, it's a pretty large system. You can already see, if we measure the system right now from top to bottom, we'll go ahead and pull up our thing here. You can actually see what I'm talking about. From top to bottom of the system, we're measuring about over 600 miles. And if we measure Florida, now obviously the size is likely going to change at this point, but if we measure from top to bottom, zoom in there, from top to bottom it's about 400 miles. So this thing could be this thing could be bigger than the entire state of Florida itself. But like I said, obviously with that being said, this can definitely still change in size by the time it does cause impacts here for Florida. Absolutely. And like I said, obviously that is what we are talking about. This is something we just got to really keep an eye out here for. And then here for tomorrow, guys, just as a quick little update, we do have some severe weather across portions of the Tennessee Valley into the northeast, which we might be covering that tomorrow. We'll see. If it gets upgraded, we will. If it stays marginal, we'll probably just leave it as it is. Let's see here. What is the chances for impacts on the eastern coast? That's a very good question. So, in regard to now, as of now, like I said, these trends are going to increase for some areas and decrease for others. But if we take a look here at the current impacts in regard to tropical storm force wind probabilities, you can actually see here that the entire state is inside the possibility cone for tropical storm force winds. Now, obviously, the areas here on the far western side has a better chance of seeing those winds. Obviously, like I said, as we track our way down more in time, this is going to obviously track its way more towards, more closer to Florida here. But as of now, areas towards like Tampa already has a 60 to 70% chance of seeing tropical storm force conditions. And on the far eastern side, as you did mention, right now we are actually seeing here. Let's go and go back here. Right now we actually are seeing a 20 to 30% chance along portions of the eastern coast. So yeah, the eastern coast can absolutely still see some impacts out of this system. Absolutely, 100%. And, obviously we are just going to, continue watching this. Like I said, this is an evolving situation. We're just going off of the latest updates here as of now. And just for why not reasons, this is the hurricane probability wind speeds. Now, you might notice it's not too high right now, but this, I can assure you, this will increase in probability as well as in coverage here in Florida as this thing does track closer. So that is what we are talking about. They're just trying to play it safe here. Let's see here. Isn't Ian's eye is the classic shape in the HWRF model, HWRF. Yeah, absolutely, it is. Pretty crazy. So, but that's kind of what we are talking about. I think we're gonna head off here relatively soon, my friends. I feel like we covered a lot of this system here. We went over the models and everything such. Now will be the time for you guys. If you have any questions, try to let us know. Obviously, like I said, if you have any questions, please let us know. If you are in Florida, obviously, please stay safe out there. And like I said, if you got any questions, let us know. We're going to try to answer as many as possible before we head off here, in which we'll probably head off here around 6:20. So that's in about 10 minutes. Sound good? We'll head off here about, 6:20 Eastern, which will be local time, to Florida. So 6:20. And but like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. We got you all covered. Can I bring up the photo as decent in Discord? No, we're not going to do that right now because I don't have Discord loaded up. Not going to try to load it up right now either. But like I said, if you got any questions, let us know. Let's see, will Isle Juno get hit? I don't even know where that's even at because I'm not used to these areas. I could try to pull it up here on my phone and see exactly which side of Florida this is on. I could try, Jenny. We can try to figure this out. See, let's see here.
Hurricane conditions possible.
Let's see if I can actually get this right. This is right here, cross portion. Okay, this looks like it's on the west, or the eastern side of Florida.
Thursday, southwest
if I'm not mistaken.
to 75 knots. Gusts up to 95.
Trying to find exactly where this is at. All these maps are really zoomed in.
22 feet,
Some odd reason.
to 19 feet in the afternoon.
Well, anyways, but like I said, the eastern side is still just a continuing thing we need to watch out here for. I could not find any maps on it. From what I understand, it looks like it's on the eastern side of Florida, and as we just discussed, the eastern side could also have some impacts, but that's still a subject to change in regard to probability of such there. Jenny says, I have family. Now, regardless, like I said, regardless of where you are in Florida, you should be prepared for this system. Because, like I said, I really want to keep you guys informed. I want to keep you guys safe in regard to things. General Chow says, we'll get some 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, some rain, and some beers. Absolutely. Sounds like a good time to me, actually. If I was down there, I'd be cranking up ready for a hurricane party. But obviously, don't be stupid as I would be, honestly. This is something I would probably do. Absolutely. Let's see. Jenny says, okay, thank you. You're welcome. Like I said, we're trying to help out as much as possible, trying to get the word out there. So if you guys could, consider sharing the stream with your friends and family, just to help get the word out there, obviously. To help keep you guys prepared and obviously safe with this. So, like I said, it'll be greatly appreciated. If you're not already, consider hitting that subscribe button while you're at it, my friends. With that being said, and who knows, if a system comes your way, we could potentially one day help save your lives as well. So, like I said, that's obviously our goal on the channel, is to keep you guys informed and prepared for these systems, as Mother Nature is definitely quite the system, or quite the quite the mother, I should say, honestly. Yeah, Mother Nature is definitely quite crazy. So, anyways, let's see here. But that is indeed what we are talking about. Let's see here. Proxy says an outdoor hurricane party. Hey, that sounds good to me, but like I said, just please stay safe if you are going to have these hurricane parties. It does sound fun, though. Absolutely. And, like I was saying, the crazy part is that, this is actually going to, this system is actually going to really, or me particularly, I should say the system. I'm going to be heading down to Florida here, which is going to be interesting. Let's see here. I've had some great hurricane parties in a pool, Category 1, of course. Sounds like a good time. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be the person out there with the camera trying to film it all. That would be me, obviously, with the camera in one hand and a beer in the other. Absolutely. That would likely be me. Absolutely. But once again, guys, if you got any questions, like I said, we're heading off here soon. So, like I said, if you got any questions, then obviously let us know. We're going to be here for you. Absolutely. And like I said, obviously, guys, please stay safe out here. Obviously, okay, so today's 6 o'clock. Here tonight, okay, look out for this. We're going to do a little update on the channel. We're going to probably make a quick little 2-minute or 3-minute video on what we just talked about on a fast speed. We're going to talk about here, we're going to get a new update coming in here tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to do another live stream on the hurricane. So every single day, expect a live stream to come through with this system, okay? Obviously we're going to be preparing you guys as much as possible. Absolutely. Let's see here. Imagine being in a hurricane. Yeah, it sounds like a good time to me. But obviously, in reality, it's probably not. No. Absolutely not. Obviously, all the, there's some nasty side effects with hurricanes, too. I mean, not just from storm surge, but you know what? A little fun fact for you guys. I don't know if you all knew this, but tornadoes is actually a concern with hurricanes as well. Especially only on the eastern side of the system. If, for example, this track does take place, these regions would likely have a tornado event. In which, like I said, obviously, with that being said, that's something to look out for. Let's see here. Imagine being in a Category 5 hurricane. That would be not good at all. And my personal thoughts, I was waiting for someone to say the comment, what my thoughts on if this thing goes up to a Cat 5. As of now, I'd still say it's a pretty low chance, but you never know because of all its rapid development. Obviously that is what we're looking at. Bug says, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Absolutely. I got you all covered. Absolutely. We're going to be here for you. Would I be outside in a 200-mile-per-hour hurricane? Probably not alive. No. Let's see, I've been in hurricanes. Not fun in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, a lot of that is exaggeration. I mean, honestly, I probably would be out there filming some of it. Not to, to be honest with you, I probably would. But obviously, there's a lot of things that suck about hurricanes. I mean, power outages and Florida heat. It's kind of suck, really, for a lot of people. But that's kind of what we are talking about. But yeah, I don't expect, it's kind of hard to tell right now if this thing will even get near Category 5. Like I said, honestly, in my opinion, it would not be surprising if we did see that actually become a reality or a possibility with the system actually rapidly intensifying. Like I said, a new category every 12 hours, which is nuts. Absolutely rapid development. Like I said, there's nothing holding back the system. There's absolutely nothing holding back on this system here in regard to, wind shear. To help shred apart the storm, that's not going to be a factor. That's going to be bad for the system in regard to allowing it to form quickly. There's going to be plenty of warm waters. I mean, not many tropical cyclones have crossed through the Gulf of Mexico. This year's been pretty quiet and allowed for those conditions to really heat up. Not just on the surface, but actually under the water as well is also very, very warm. Absolutely. And, of course, moisture content. There's plenty and plenty of moisture just sitting there waiting in the Gulf of Mexico. And this is going to basically drag all of it in, which could be a problem. But that is kind of what we are talking about. So, let's see here. Here's a secret to power outages. Move near the hospital. So, you get on the grid within 24 to 48 hours. Huh. That definitely does make sense because those are the regions they're trying to get the power back. Absolutely. That is what we are talking about. So, alrighty, my friends. Like I said, we're going to head off here in about 2 minutes. One last call for the questions here. If you guys got any questions, like I said, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Be greatly appreciated. Obviously, once again, big shout out goes to obviously Courtney here, as well as Proxy, for the support on the channel. Definitely greatly appreciated. So obviously, thank you so much, Courtney. You did not have to do that. Proxy, you didn't have to do that either. Mega shout out actually goes to Proxy for all the support that they've given us on the channel. Literally, Proxy today has absolutely helped us out so much in regard to things. Literally, Proxy has given us a $45 donation as well as gifted literally 10 memberships here today. Absolutely very generous from him. So thank you so much, you guys. Absolutely really appreciate it. Let's see. Mega says, please remember to leave a like. We greatly appreciate it if you guys did enjoy it. Do consider leaving a like here. Like I said, we're going to do a quick little update video tonight in regard to the tropics, so if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned and turn on post notifications, subscribe to the channel. It's free, y'all. Just hit that red button down below, and you guys will be instantly notified in regard to our updates. But that is what we are talking about. So, once again, everybody, thank you so much for being here. It's greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. So, it's now about 6:20, so we're going to go ahead and head off here for right now. Bug says, if it's a Cat 4, how far away from shore should a person be? Honestly, as far away from possible. As far away as possible, absolutely. Alright, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all for being here. Stream's going to end off, or it's going to end here in 5 minutes. Just giving you guys the last chance to say goodbye and have your final thoughts in the chat. So, giving you guys a little bit of time to think. So, the current time is now currently counting down here, y'all. So, once again, thank you all for all of your support. You guys absolutely rock. Let's go ahead and get this animation rolling here of the system. Like I said, it has a little bit of development to go through yet. And, but obviously, it's going to do so. It's going to achieve that very quickly. Absolutely. Alrighty, bye, friends. Thank you all for joining us today. Greatly appreciated. Y'all absolutely rock. Peace out, you guys. We love y'all. Hope you guys stay safe with this system. We're going to keep you all informed. And, like I said, we'll catch you guys later on today in a video. Peace out, you guys. See you then.
Text my3.html. Wind tropical storm force winds are expected in portions of the western Azores for the next several hours. See products issued by the Meteorological Service in the Azores for more information. Surf swells generated by Gaston are expected to affect portions of the Azores through tonight. These swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Rainfall. Gaston is expected to produce additional rainfall accumulations of 1 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts of 3 inches across the western and central Azores. This will result in storm total rainfall of 2 to 6 inches, which may result in landslides and areas of flooding. Next complete advisory at 9 p.m. GMT. This is a tropical weather bulletin from the National Hurricane Center. Issued at 4:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, over 2100 UTC, the center of Tropical Storm Ian was located near latitude 14.3 north, longitude 77.0 west. About 908 miles, 1462 kilometers south-southeast of Fort Myers, Florida. About 1006 miles, 1619 kilometers south-southeast of Tampa, Florida. Ian is moving toward the west near 16 miles an hour, 26 kilometers per hour, and this general motion is expected to continue through early Sunday. A turn toward the northwest and north-northwest is forecast on Sunday and Monday, followed by a northward motion on Tuesday. On the forecast track, the center of Ian is forecast to pass well southwest of Jamaica on Sunday, and pass near or west of the Cayman Islands Sunday night and early Monday. Ian will then move near, or over western Cuba late Monday and emerge over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico on Tuesday. Data from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that maximum sustained winds remain near 45 miles an hour, 75 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Significant strengthening is forecast during the next few days. Ian is forecast to become a hurricane by late Sunday and a major hurricane by late Monday or early Tuesday. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 60 miles 95 kilometers from the center. The estimated minimum central pressure is 1,003 millibars 29.62 inches. This is a tropical weather bulletin from the National Hurricane Center. Issued at 4:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Bulletin Tropical Depression Herman Advisory Number 6 National Weather Service National Hurricane Center Miami, Florida Al 102022 8 p.m. CVT Saturday, September 24, 2022 Herman weakens to a tropical depression. Heavy rains expected to continue across the Canary Islands for another day or so. Summary of 8 p.m. CVT, 2100 UTC. Information location, 21.8 and 20.6 W, about 460 miles, 735 kilometers NE of the Cabo Verde Islands. Maximum sustained winds, 35 miles an hour, 55 kilometers per hour. Present movement, NO 360 degrees at 10 miles an hour, 17 kilometers per hour. Minimum central pressure, 1003 millibars, 29.62 inches. Watches and warnings. There are no coastal watches or warnings in effect. Discussion and outlook at 8 p.m. CVT 2100 UTC. The center of Tropical Depression Herman was located near latitude 21.8 north, longitude 20.6 west. The depression is moving toward the north near 10 miles an hour, 17 kilometers per hour, and this motion is expected to continue during the next day or so. After the time, a turn toward the northwest is expected. Maximum sustained winds have decreased to near 35 miles an hour, 55 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts. Weakening is forecast, and Herman is expected to become a remnant low in a day or so. The estimated minimum central pressure is 1003 millibars, 29.62 inches. Hazards affecting land. Rainfall. Herman is expected to produce 3 to 6, 75 to 150 millimeters inches of